Shalom, I'm Rabbi Susan L. Kodsi of the Malverne Jewish Center, and welcome to a new video series that I'm creating called What Are We Saying When We're Praying? Very often people say, I don't come to services because I don't understand the prayers. And even reading the Hebrew in translation doesn't always give us a good sense of what we're saying when we're praying. And we have to remember that every translation is an interpretation. And different Siddurim, different prayer books, are going to have interpretations and translations that are appropriate for their intended audience. So, for example, if you were to look at the art scroll or the Koran Siddur that was put together by Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks of blessed memory, you'll see gendered language for God. You'll see various ways that God's name is translated. If you look at something like Gates of Prayer, Mishkan Tefillah from the Reform movement, or the newer Siddurim from the conservative movement, you'll see gender-neutral language wherever possible. So really, what does it mean when we're praying? And more specifically, what does it mean to bless God? After all, our prayers and blessings very often begin with Baruch Atah Adonai, blessed are you, and continue most of the time, Eloheinu melech haolam, ruler, Lord our God, ruler of the universe. The first thing we have to wonder is, what does it mean to bless God? How can we mere mortals bestow our blessings on the Divine One? After all, God is supposed to be blessing us. Well, one question is, are blessing and praising the same thing? Very often what happens in our prayer books is that the word for bless, barach, or bracha, which is blessing, is translated as praised. Praised are you, as opposed to blessed are you. But they're two different words. They're often used interchangeably, but in Hebrew, blessing is bracha. Praise is usually in the form of hallel, Hey Lamed Lamed, as in hallelujah, which is praised are you, God. Now, when we bless God, we sanctify or we elevate God in holiness and in benevolence. We acknowledge God's divinity and that God is the source, the fountain for bestowing blessings on us. Now, God is the source of all blessing, and the root of the word bracha, barech, is bet, resh, chaf. It can also be read, if you change the vowels, as berech, which means pool or fountain, meaning a pool or a fountain of water. So we can imagine that when we say a blessing, it's as though we're bringing down a fountain of blessing upon us. When we're praying and when we begin with Baruch Atah Adonai, blessed are you, Lord, we're approaching the Holy One of blessing. We might be offering a blessing that's a request, a thankfulness blessing, or an acknowledgement. Blessings often open by addressing God directly in the second person as you, but then they switch to speaking of God in the third person. For example, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rofeh cholei amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, God, ruler of the universe, healer of the ill of your people Israel. We, at the same time, are both acknowledging the supreme healer and asking that this healing be bestowed on all who are in need. You're probably also familiar with the many blessings that we say before doing things, such as drinking wine or eating bread. And in this case, we're affirming God's role in our lives. So, for example, Borei Peri Hagafen, who creates the fruit of the vine. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, who brings forth bread from the earth. We all know that challah does not rise from the ground on stems already braided with poppy seeds on top. It's a partnership between us, who takes the wheat all the way through to the end of the baking process, and God, who is instrumental in creating the earth and helping that to grow. Now, the blessing for lighting Shabbat candles and for performing other actions that are mitzvot, or commandments, acknowledge the concept that we ourselves are holy because God is holy. As it says, Kedoshim tihiyu, ki kadosh ani Adonai. You will be holy because I am holy. I am the Lord your God. Here the blessing formula includes the words, Asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, who has made us holy through the commandments and commanded us, ... In this case, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat, to kindle the Sabbath lights. Now, as the joke in Fiddler on the Roof reminds us, there's a blessing for everything, even the czar. The Talmud teaches that we should recite 100 blessings a day, and to give us a start, the morning services in our prayer book contain 25 blessings that cover everything from the soul that God has placed within us being pure, acknowledging God's amazing wisdom in creating our bodies, acknowledging God who returns our souls to us in the morning, and all kinds of things following. So when we bless God, we acknowledge that we are created b'tselem Elohim, in the divine image, and that we are partners with the Holy One in creating a better world. I hope this has given you some insight into our world of blessings, and our next segment will be about Kriyat Shema Uvirchoteha, the recitation of Shema Yisrael, and the blessings that surround this recitation. Shalom for now, and may you have a blessed day.